Hey YouTube, the reason why I'm doing this video is to notify everyone that a lot of people are still caught up in human trafficking. They don't even know that they're in human trafficking because it's considered them going by their daily functions. They're doing everything that they would normally do, get up every morning, go to work, take care of the children, the family, whatever they would normally probably do in their day to day life is what they're doing. And the thing about it, they don't even know that they're in human trafficking, that these people have gotten away with trafficking them. The way that these people get away with this type of behavior is by a matriarch system or rendering the person comatose. It's like a state of being in a coma, but at the same time, it's you being in a coma and assimilation. And these people are have you in this coma like state, but assimilation as well. So to most, you would be considered dead, but you're not dead. What's happening in your mind is active. Somewhat like the Demolition Man. I don't know if you guys ever watched this movie. It's an old movie called The Demolition Man, and how they used to keep inmates that were considered high inmates or whatever. They would put them in this state, the same state that they're using to traffic people in, and hold their body for years and years and years. So it's like a pod type, comatose type state, or whatever the case may be. Connected with the Lazarus Project. I don't know if some of you guys are aware of the Lazarus Project. The Lazarus Project was to sit up there and render a body dead. Once the body is considered dead, to actually restore organs and restore tissue growth and everything, just do a restoration of the body. So this is something that they're doing, and they're trafficking people in the process of them doing that. So the simulation part of it, these people have control of. So they want to use psychology as well as other things to manipulate one's characteristic and thought. So you can either go through a devolving of character or a evolutionary of character, depending on the type of person you are and with everything that they're doing. So you're doing everything right, right? They want you to do it wrong. So what they do during this human trafficking stage, everything that you do good, they reward it with bad. So they incarcerate you, they put you in jail, but you're still in a simulation type state. You can only imagine the type of damage this would do to smaller children, teenagers, and everything. No matter how good you are, you're rewarded bad. No matter how bad you are, you're rewarded good. You get what I'm saying? So you can be a good child, but the only time you receive a reward is when you're doing something negative. And this wears and tears on a person's characteristics. It gives them no opportunity to bear forth value to themselves as what they choose to be or what they want to be. And this is a part of their human trafficking, using us as science experiments and some of everything else. So, for a young woman to be conservative, not having sex, they would rape that woman and use this as part of their science experiment. So, as long as she's refusing to have a partner, she's being raped. She's going through all forms of abuse because she have chosen not to sustain a partner and not to date. But they don't care. The whole motive is to persuade the person to do what they want them to do through this form of intimidation, attack, and coercion. All of this have been wearing and tearing on our society for quite some time. It has been decades on decades that we have been dealing with human trafficking and them using AI technology and technology to actually take advantage of the human thought process, personality, and characteristic traits and develop what they want that person to be. Remember, I told you the original agenda was to create a human that is evolutionized enough to actually be unstoppable. That changed. Now their goal is to create a human that they can manipulate, weaken, and do whatever they please with. Um, Doing this human trafficking issue, they want you to believe that if you do what they tell you to do, that you will be fine. That is so far from true. You're not going to be fine doing what someone else tells you to do. Because the moment that you stand up and you say no means no, they're going to go back through the same process with you. A lot of people have learned to cope with human trafficking by just going to work, coming home, or whatever the case may be, and created a coping mechanism as far as dealing with the situation. I guess the traffickers now know, so they refuse to allow these people to work. They refuse to allow these people to occupy their minds, entertain their minds, or do anything else. Sometimes all they're allowed to do is maybe sleep all day. Sleep. So there's no productivity, there's no growth, there's no development, there's no nothing. All they're allowed to do is sleep all day as another pulls their energy or pull at them, pull, you know, we heard these songs say, all they want to do is steal my energy, you know, and these are true songs because these are people that are dealing with human trafficking and cannot stop it because it has become on such a wide scale the norm. And our people are suffering because of it. Now we're dealing with human trafficking. We're dealing with law enforcement not really even being law enforcement. Some of them are great. Don't get it wrong, but most of those are the ones that's coping because they're going through trafficking. Some of them are going through trafficking that is just negative and nasty. It just is what it is. I don't know how to tell people this. I can also tell you personally that nowadays they have no respect for marriages. The reason why I have to send you out this video and tell you that they're raping married women. This woman may think that she's with her husband. She's not. They believe in tribal marriages. What tribal marriages means, as long as you're sleeping with me and my homeboys, you're good. So you may notice that your husband's touch has changed, or it may still feel the same because what they're going to do, remind you, we're dealing with human trafficking, we're dealing with devices that they have embedded in the mind. Um, these vices are very hard to remove. People can suffer tissue damage, brain damage, mental retardation, vegetation state, a multitude of things trying to remove these devices out of one's mind and one's head. So you are always at the mercy of being victimized with it not being removed. And then if it's removed, a lot of people have had it reinstated deeper into the brain tissue after being recaptured. We are dealing with a society that thinks that this behavior is okay. It's not just African American, it's not just white supremacy, it's not Mexican, it's just Mexican supremacy. It is a multitude of cultures that are doing this and enslaving their own people. We have to become wise enough to know this enslavement has taken control. They want to relate it to biblical means, but it is not biblical by no means. It is not the will of God for his people to be enslaved, and it's not the will of the word for you to reign over any people. But this is what they connected to. So a lot of people have began to say that religion itself needs to be wiped out because a lot of the people that are a part of the religion are holding to cultic behavior and they don't want involvement in that. So you can only imagine how much turmoil these things are causing everyone. But I speak on it because I am suffering through so many different things dealing with human trafficking. I speak on it because I feel that I am in this state, and the only way the only way our people will understand this if they're awakened to it. So yes, I have been human trafficked. I have had law enforcement come to my house and tell me they bending my vagina. And this is actual law enforcement that we pay tax dollars to and use it as a name of a person or a lieutenant or something. I was told to my face in my home that they were arresting me and Baker acting me because I keep telling these people that I'm being raped and I'm actually being raped. There is proof, there is evidence. A woman that does not have sex should not have an STD. But here I am suffering from STDs and everything. I go to the hospital, the local hospital, they can't tell you nothing. They're operating up under other people's name in fraud. So what's happening if you are a professional of any type? Some of them are involved and some of them are not. And they're operating under these people's name in different professions attacking the community. They are terrorists. Their behavior is terrorist. Everything about them is terrorist, and they are trafficking humans and labeling it under a matriarch system where our people are just losing. And I can't even say that the government don't know about it because these people are government contracted, or some of them. And what I don't understand, what like behooves me so much, is that I know for a fact that the government do investigations throughout the whole time while they're contracting these people. But at the same time, for some weird reason with this, they feel like the government don't do no investigation. Then I must admit, when we were supposed to be getting stimulants from COVID, and the government's sending out like checks and stuff to help people and stuff like that, none of those checks reached our people. They steal them directly out of our mailbox, whether we have a PO box or not. Their people are stealing the money, using the money to fund criminal activity. We have been through so much. Report to law enforcement, they do nothing because they are involved. Not all, but some. And the ones that are not involved are being human trafficked right there out of the sheriff's office. I don't know how else to put it out there except testifying about it, you know, because I have tried the FBI, I have tried the CIA, I have tried all of that. Our communication is isolated. So no one gets these records at all. No matter how I do this, no one gets it. So this is my video testimony. Hopefully it helps, encourage, and lead you guys to resolution. Good luck.